Cats. Cats may not be loved by everybody, but they sure are one of the most popular species in the world. They're fuzzy, nimble, and cute. Those who love them do so with tenderness, verging on obsession. I should know. I'm one of them. So, when Stray was announced, I got instantly interested. An action-adventure game where we play as a cat. What more could I want? But my extensive kitty brain damage was also a bit worried about the action part. What if the cat in the game gets hurt? I suspected my heart would break on the spot, because if there's one absolute truth about real cat lovers, it's the fact that we get incredibly protective of those little creatures, and what we feel towards them is basically pure parental instinct. I don't know, maybe the cats are born with it, maybe it's our oxytocin. In any case, I wanted to play that game, and I was afraid to play that game. I love cats and gaming, yet even when the game came out on July 19th, I was still unsure and somewhat restless. But of course, eventually I gave up and played it. And I thought the main character getting hurt would be the worst that can happen. Silly me. Anyway, the game is oppressive and beautiful, scary and heartwarming, gloomy and colorful, all at the same time. It takes place in a dystopian walled city with strong Asian vibes, very clearly inspired by the walled city in Kowloon, Hong Kong, and inhabited by robots. It reminds me of so many things. Obviously, Blade Runner and basically every imaginable cyberpunk creation, but also The Art of Enki Bilal, stories by Stanisław Lem, and games like Machinarium or Machinarium, whichever you prefer, Half-Life, and even System Shock. And that's only some of the examples. It is most definitely a visual treat with rich, impressive environments and wonderful animations. It's not very long though. It takes roughly 5 to 6 hours to beat, sightseeing included, but to be completely honest, I didn't feel like I needed more. There's only so much you can do with this particular combo of environmental puzzles and stealth, especially since there's relatively little dialogue in between. We play as a lost cat trying to find its way out of the city with the help of a cute little drone. During our journey, we discover the history of the city, the reason behind the disappearance of humans, and our drone's personal story. Gameplay consists of 2 modes: traveling from point A to point B, solving simple puzzles and sometimes facing dangerous creatures, and exploration of larger multi-layered hubs with multiple quests to complete. Puzzles are not very difficult. Finding solutions doesn't take a lot of effort, just some looking around. Some puzzles are physics-based, others require some simple planning. They are intuitive, which makes them rather satisfying, and the game does a great job both at teaching us the mechanics and at the environmental storytelling. There's very little violence, although our kitty may occasionally die during a few chase and stealth sequences. I thought this had the potential of scarring me for life, but I've gotten used to it surprisingly quickly. There's no health bar and there is no way to become injured, except for a couple of scripted scenes, so we can only either succeed or completely fail and reload, which makes it all a bit better, somehow. The 4-legged main character is cute, wonderfully fluffy, realistically animated, and makes the sweetest little sounds. I'd say it's the best looking cat in the history of gaming. It moves like a cat, it looks like a cat, and it sounds like a cat. I'd like to say that it acts like a cat as well, but that's not entirely true. While we can occasionally interact with the environment in a very cat-like manner, scratching carpets and walls, pushing things off of ledges and furniture, and even rubbing against the legs of some of the robots, I have to point out that no self-respecting cat does what it's told, and on an empty stomach at that. But in all seriousness, yes, this is the most realistic kitty ever. Stray is definitely made with a controller in mind. It even clearly says so, but it's absolutely playable with keyboard and mouse. The only problem I noticed is that sometimes in more cramped spaces, the camera moves too close to the cat, who as a result disappears from view. This makes finding our way a bit challenging, but fortunately never lasts for too long. We spend a lot of the time high up, under ceilings, above streets and over deep chasms, but because we can't really fall, we literally feel like we are the cat with its agility and sense of balance. It's actually very pleasant. The main topic of the story, I think, is hope. Also kindness, friendship and loyalty, but mostly hope and perseverance. So overall, the message is positive. There is no shortage of heartwarming and funny scenes, but make no mistake, this game knows how to accelerate your heart rate from time to time. Unfortunately, it also knows how to plunge a knife into the feels and then slowly turn it. Which, to be honest, was something I could absolutely do without, and it's my only real problem with the game. But all in all, I like Stray. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but while walking the well-known paths, it still manages to be a novelty. It's been deliberately made with cat lovers in mind, and it doesn't even try to hide that this is its main selling point. But I'm happy to say that it doesn't limit itself to this feature only. Blue 12 Studio could have easily made a pretty-looking cat walking simulator, and I'm sure it would have still satisfied many people. But they didn't. They made a well-designed, well-thought-out, fully-fledged adventure game. Yeah, it's short, and its replay value is close to 0, but I don't think it can be easily forgotten. The developers built a very good-looking, but, in all fairness, not very original setting. But putting a bunch of wonderfully cartoonish robots and a cat in it was a brilliant move and made all the difference in the world, and I will remember it forever. Even if I am a bit cross with some parts of the story. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Take care.